We'll hear my voice in a moment and we'll know we're live.
Okay.
Oh, how do I pronounce your last name?
Grayson.
Grayson. Okay, Grayson. Joy Grayson. We'll hear and we are actually live. I love it. Greetings, 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 beautiful, powerful, multidimensional beings. And welcome to an episode 007. I feel like we have a very, I love that it's 007. It's the joy.
Joy Bond.
Yeah, Joy Bond for 007. As we going to dive deep into, wow, I'm getting an obsession about this. One of our most potent, powerful tools, part of us, I will say, our voice. What is it? How deep can we go with it, right? How can we utilize it? What does it really mean to speak your voice, to speak your truth, to utilize your voice, correct? Is it a authentic energetic signature to everyone, right? What is it? So it's so cool because I am diving deep today with beautiful Joy Grayson. And we recently, I will say, bumped into each other, met each other, thanks God to these social platforms, right? No matter how fair or not fair they were, they're beautiful portals for us to reunite. So that's where we reunited with Joy Grayson. We're going to take it further. Today we're doing live on YouTube with intention that this will ripple a beautiful energetic signature full of love and empowerment, right? Into this field. So thank you so much, Joy, for being here. Please introduce yourself shortly. Yeah, and whatever you want to share in the beginning of this awesome live transmission.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in and intersecting with us in this moment, wherever you are, whenever you are. Um, First of all, I feel like I'm down the rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland's Magic Kingdom. Just being here in your energy feels so good. And it preceded you because the whole morning I was just like I felt like you had already rolled out the carpet and I was on it. So thank you for all that you are, all that you see, all that you share, and I'm so happy that we heard each other's song in the universe and connected again. Um, I am joy. That's my bio.
I took it in. Wow, I had goosebumps. Yes, you are. I love
Oh.
it.
Mhm. So I am music. I am a channel for music, and I have used my human voice since before I could speak. I was singing as an infant, and music is my first language from a conscious perspective. I think it's all of our first language. It's always going to be the foundational way that we hear each other energetically, even with, if not with our ears. But I actually sang before I could speak, and it opened a it opened a highway for me to be seen energetically as an infant. And suddenly I was heart to heart, soul to soul, communicating with beings that saw the essence of me. And when I wasn't singing, I was just a cute little baby. So it was like super highway
Wow.
and then nothing except um, being a particle as opposed to operating in a wave state. So um, I kind of set out to live my life from that point in search of how do we establish that superhighway without having to be singing every moment. Like, how do I sing without singing? And then conversely, how do I sing like nobody's ever sang before? Because I am a stained glass window of source that source shines itself through. And so everything that imprints on me, everything that I have connected to over the energetic lifespan that I have been right, is a filter for the vibration that comes through me from source into the world, from the ethereal into the material. So I wanted my voice, my actual physical voice, to be sonically a representation as closely truthful to who I am as I could. And I think everybody feels that way. And that's why singing is such a sacred and intimate, um, like the act of singing terrifies people when they feel they have to be heard by others, because I think it's because they are afraid to be misrepresented by what they have developed in their vocal technique. Like, this isn't going to show people who I really am, so I can't show it at all unless it's a really strong representation. So I've spent my life figuring out how to make that more and more understandable. Like, what is it that's happening? And then also how to just get into that state where you are just flowing and you're in wave form and you are connected to others. You actually facilitate the connection to others' hearts where those hearts may have been closed off or those portals may be blocked for all the reasons that we all know so well, all the trauma, but that somehow, like, if we are able to reconnect to the music inside of us and allow um, our voices to simply be the echo of our souls, then that voice couldn't be any more beautiful, just as it is. But the more you use it, then of course it becomes more and more masterful, more and more representative of who we are. And so, in addition to my own music, which I'm getting ready to release an 11 song project in the new year of all my original work, called Seeds. In addition to my own music, my life's work and my mission for over 33 years now has been to connect artists back to the truth of their own voice and help them step into the quantum use of that voice and watch how it transforms. And it has nothing to do with vocal exercises.
Wow, there's few things you kind of met, but 33 number came up today for me while I was doing few things with even the flyer. It was like 33, 3 hours, 33
Oh,
minutes. I'm like, oh my
I
God.
have I have more, okay? I could sing in three-part harmony before I was 3 years old. I could play three instruments by ear before I was 3 years old. There's so many
Love it.
threes that come up in the pattern. Crazy. What a
Yeah, 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 love it. Again, no coincidences. And I love how you expressed, that song within. Um, and no matter how, again, how shy away I used to be, or was up until now, I'll say, singing. I am not shying away from my voice per se because I do utilize it. I speak, and especially as I shared with Joy, speaking and speaking in public, and the bigger the audience, the easier I feel, because I can feel that exchange. Yet, yeah, we'll go into it as well. For me, the singing was like something that I'm gonna tuck away in the farthest corner and I will never touch this. We're like, yet I always see us as a multidimensional beings here, as this part, each of us being part of this bigger symphony.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's so beautiful as you're like, wow, expressing that song from within.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And thank you so much for coming so far as well, for you evolving yourself, expanding yourself in ways that you can support the collective and the others to do the same. And I bet the journey wasn't all red carpet and roses at all, as it's not for any of us. And in honor for every glitch that I invite here to share and be the live transmission, I always ask, hey, what awakened you to that power within you? What supported you to harness it? What allowed you to fully see the magic that you are? Was it pain in your life? Was it truth? You saw some truth that you couldn't unsee, and then you start diving. So, would you mind sharing, Joy, right here, a little bit of your story, how it unfolded into where you're at now?
Yes, thank you. My mind goes in a million directions when you say that. I had great love and great adversary right from the start of my life. Adversary in my life. I had my father and my mother's mother were angels on this earth, and showed me a level of opening and of love that was so endless. Their spirits are just so clean and open and accessible, just like this gorgeous resonance. And then I had a very, and still have a very challenging relationship with my mother. Um, and I think it was the duality of those two things,
Wide spectrum.
yeah, that create that pressure creates the diamond, you know, the raw diamond. It gets created from the pressure of the dichotomy of those two things. And I think because my father and my grandmother introduced me to music at such a young age, that music was the magic carpet that allowed me to become, like, I feel like think about what you said about your own, um, like when you put singing away, but you could communicate with words. What you described to me before we got on this call was that you were told throughout your life that you couldn't hear in order to recreate the music, which is what we're really doing when we're making music, is we're recreating, reconstituting the music that's already everywhere all the time. Because what is it? It's harmony. If you can't
Wow.
hear the notes and match them, then somebody told you, or something in you believes that you can't create harmony.
Amen.
That's
Wow.
and that's a lie. I just wanted to say that before we went any further.
Love it. Love it. Wow.
But so I tuned to harmony so directly at such a young age that that opened the quantum door to understanding how to operate in other patterns with the same infinite potential access. So like it opened an intelligence, a cosmic intelligence, a channel for me to feel extraordinary at a very young age. Like I could play this game, the card game Concentration. Do you know that game? You
No.
you just put all the cards face down, right? We used to play on the carpet in my living room. And then you have to turn over and find pairs. And then when you get the pairs, you keep put them in your pile. So because of the music, I believe it created a photographic capacity in my mind to be able to see deeply. And so like I would beat every adult at like 2.5 years old, 3 years old at that game every time we played. And there was never a question. Like I just knew I was going to see all the cards and I was going to be able to remember them better than anyone else. And so that story is vivid in my mind because it tapped me into a higher intelligence, I believe, the music and the harmonizing, my spiritual vibration musically is instantly recognizable to other life forms. The harmony is instantly recognizable. And so I feel like it just set me up to be able to understand life on a much deeper level right from that time. But there was also this tremendous longing and loneliness, because when I would open that portal and people saw me and felt me and then it would close, I would just it was like being, bounced like a ball against a wall. It was just like, it's extraordinarily lonely when you know how deep that feels at such a young age. And so it's interesting because I just recently started having this, just as an aside, this real look at my name, my birth name, right? Joy, Holly, Stimmel, Stimme, which without the L, which I later found out in my 20s, means voice. So
Okay.
I kind of always looked at joy and voice as just kind of my destiny once I realized that, but I ignored Holly. And recently I started looking up the ideology around that name, the derivation, and what I got was it represents the thorn of crowns and the suffering of Christ because of the red berries and this and the, so all of a sudden it was like the
Oh yeah.
suffering in between the joy and the voice
The alchemy right there, the catalyst.
has been intense,
Yeah. Wow.
and I just had a session with someone last week where I was seeing these like champagne bubbles of energy, like fireflies coming off the idea of joy and of little joy. And then I was seeing that transfer over to the voice, so I was seeing this visual, and the practitioner was like, can you just surround the suffering with those bubbles and those lights? Because it's not serving you anymore. Like that part of the journey
Oh,
is completed, and like you're always going to feel, but you don't have to suffer like this in order to find what you're looking for. And so my whole life has been in pursuit, how do I tune myself and become a better and better and better extraordinary vocalist, and then how do I take other people there so they understand what it feels like to truly connect with other people on this level. And the voice is just, it's just the vehicle to get you there, but it's this divine tuning fork that allows you to tune yourself to the deepest truth. And so then that tuning and then that broadcasting through an aesthetic pleasing, physiologically and biologically calming and restorative means then just opens other people's flow state, and they are no longer just being mechanical pieces of a puzzle. They are now back swimming in the great pool of everything that it, like we become one when we cast this net, when we send our voices out and we recognize that harmony is the goal in everything, And so so now I'm going to cut to more present time. So really tried to put my voice out there as an artist, and life wound up happening like it does for so many of us. You get married, you have a kid, you're trying to make ends meet. And so I thought, what better thing could I do than to teach what I know to other people in the meantime, still in the pursuit of my musical unleashing, right? And so that became the Holy Grail. And now skip to struggling with this most of my life to make it really have the impact that I wanted to. But skip to about, I want to say 14 years ago, I had 4 earthquakes that happened in my life at the same time, just devastating things that happened simultaneously. And I took to the woods. I just started walking in the woods. I wasn't trying to exercise. I was just trying to move my body, get my limb system flowing. And I started writing in my little iPhone 5S. And I started just downloading and observing and just receiving from nature. And the more I wrote and just asked myself questions, the more I started to see the grid of the matrix. Like I started to see the patterns. I started to see the sacred geometry. I started to see the reasons why we collapse and why we shine. And like I started to understand the mechanics of everything that I'd been suffering with and my clients are suffering with. And I was just documenting. And I would go home and Google it. And I would realize that I had just learned sacred geometry. I had just learned what quantum physics was in the woods. I could see it and I could apply it to my clients. And what was so fascinating was two things. I mean, I'm kind of leading into the next phase of this, if that's okay. Because
Go, 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 go. Yeah,
okay,
anywhere you want to go.
okay, so
It's a freestyle here.
okay, good. So I was one day I was just sitting there and I was looking at the sun and I was looking at everything, all the plants, all the life around that I could see was just like in complete surrender to the sun, joyful, non-defensive, just arms open wide. And I noticed all the different structures, all the different colors, all the different shapes and textures, all the different positions for each individual species was different but the same. And they were all just receiving the gift of the light from the sun. And I started thinking, like, how does this relate to performance? I'm always trying to solve the problem of why do people shut down when they're in public? And so I was like, the sun is just giving. And as a result, everything in life, every organic matter is alive because the sun just shines. The sun doesn't do what my clients do when they get on stage. The sun doesn't make itself smaller or
Oh.
say, no light for you, Jupiter, because you weren't very nice to me today or you were being critical. It's like the sun doesn't shapeshift. So all of a sudden, everything started to click. And I was like, that's my new definition of love is the expansion from center in every direction without hesitation.
Love it. Wow.
That's my new operating definition of love. Expanding from center without hesitation is unconditional love. So I was like, okay, so then what's this? What's the opposite? That's what I see everyone doing in life, on stage, in the creative process, in social interaction. It's like, how do I break this down? And it became very obvious that it's fear. It's the primal survival instinct is shut it down, close it up, make it small so no one can see us. No one here, like that's why animals play dead, right? We're just going to shut the light so no one sees anyone's home and we're going to survive. And so I was like, that's what we're all doing all the time. So then I started to take that apart. So fear is causing the collapse of the opening and the releasing. So as I started to play with this idea and I started to research what I was discovering, I started to understand a little bit more about what the quantum implications of this were, right?
Uh-huh.
So I came across the experiment that kicked everything off in the metaphysical field, which is the double slit experiment. And for anyone that doesn't know, that scientists observed electrons and also photons, I believe protons, but I know electrons, operating as particles sometimes, but when they made two slits that they could shoot them through, suddenly they had a choice, and suddenly they were playing. They were operating as waves, and they could see an interference pattern on the back wall where those electrons were going through these two slits. But when they put a measuring device and they started to try to observe what was happening, the electrons somehow knew and went back to behaving like particles, and that's what kicked off the study of quantum mechanics, basically. And so what I started thinking was, when we are singing in the shower, or in our car, and we're not watching ourselves and we're not observing ourselves, we're in the flow state.
Yeah. Yeah.
And right? And the minute we start imagining from imaginary points of view other people watching us, we collapse our own flow state, and we go back to just being particles and mechanical, and we trip over our words and we forget our lyrics that we've known since 100 years. And so this gave birth to this perspective that I had mentioned to you before, which is what you can use practically in your life to get into the flow state or to get sucked out of it. And I want to go over that with you, but before I do, I just want to pause and, like, I know I just said like so much. I want to give you a chance to, like, respond, ask questions,
Yeah. Yeah.
interact
Absolutely.
with. Okay.
Yeah. Well, amazing. You're not all over the place. You're simply connecting the dots, within a few themes, I will say. We're not all over the place. We're simply connecting the dots. That's what I
Beautiful.
see when they tell me, you're all over the. It's like, no, 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 wait. It all comes together. Don't worry.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, so I love it. I actually, what came up for me is to appreciate every single being that is utilizing their voice. Utilizing their voice to express that coherence within them, utilizing the voice to tune into deeper coherence, utilizing their voice to share their wisdom. Because again, either you are singing, performing arts, right? I used to read poetry for like my school, and I was really good at all the way throughout till I was 16. And then, like I shared with Joy a little bit, my voice starts changing. I got more conscious, and then yeah, even my coach, he was like, "I don't know what to do with you anymore. Your voice is very different suddenly." So huge appreciation for beautiful souls out there, beings, that are allowing themselves to express themselves through this beautiful instrument. No matter what, whatever you're sharing. The teachers, think about everyone that is speaking and expressing. And it takes courage. Not only to sing, it takes courage just to speak in public, right? It takes courage to utilize your voice authentically, right? I'm gonna take off all the fluff, no bullshit, and just shoot straight,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people like can't handle it so well. They're like, you're rude, just simply because you took off the fluff.
Yep.
Right? No more cushion. So I adore and honor every single one of you, and thank you, because we did get the one comment, and that kind of like led me there. Jenny, and I don't know if you know Jenny, she's on Instagram with us. Thank you to both of you for using voice so beautifully. I appreciate you. I will catch the rest of the replay a little bit later. I gotta go. That's what she said. Yet she appreciated us. So that's why I was like, what? Let's appreciate everyone.
Yes.
And in fact, for someone that is feeling like to utilize their voice, it's a beautiful sign that yes, you can. Even me, I'm sharing all the stuff with singing, and it's hilarious. I don't have to. I don't really see the need for me, let's say, to sing, right? I don't really have that, what do you call it, trigger or feel small about it anymore. Yet it's funny because I know that there was a, what do you call it? There is no flow right there in this theme of mine.
Yeah.
I I will go there because there is more potent potential for me. And again, Joy works with a lot of professional singers, as I'm aware, or people, right? The performing artists.
Yeah, I
Um,
work with singers of all stripe, beginners, Grammy
okay,
winners,
yeah,
yeah, you name it, and speakers, all kinds of performing artists, actors,
yeah.
writers. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. So let's say I don't have a vision being a singer, right? I don't feel like that's my mission. Yet, even that little glitch in my field of me being so contracted with like singing, right? Or literally not going to any birthday party that was at karaoke bar because I was like, nope, because they might, they will start convincing and dragging me on the stage and sing. I'm just not gonna even be there.
Yeah.
So even that for me is like, I'm intrigued what's there, right? I'm
Mm.
intrigued why there is a little bit of distortion. So yeah, I'll dive as well into my own stuff. And it doesn't have to be for singing on the stage as a singer. Yet, obviously, it will support me. It will support my voice. It will support me speaking. It will support my confidence and relax for sure. It might even change my tone. Correct. Like it might even change my voice again. I don't know yet. This is
So,
something beautiful. And yeah, thank you so much, Joy, for diving into this with me.
oh my
It's
gosh.
amazing. Yeah,
Thank
yeah, it's amazing. So yes, we appreciate everyone that is utilizing your voices. And there's a few things that you said so profoundly. Yet it's leading me to your comment that you commented today on our reel from yesterday, and you wrote back to, let me check, because your comment was so profound to Dr. Catherine Clinton. I will, and because maybe this is gonna be an entrance into something else.
Yeah.
Let me see. I was like, wow, she put it so beautifully together. Okay, so Joy says, Dear Catherine, our voices are the exact echo of the stained glass window that is our soul's fingerprint. Ooh, ooh. It carries the codes of our exact vibration and exact moments of being. It is the wake created where we cut, right? The wake created where we cut through time and space in the 3D. It connects our electromagnetic field directly with others instantaneously and opens portals to the multidimensional connections like nothing else. Our voices are our transportation systems to oneness. Wow. I read this and I was like, when you know, you know. I always had the knowing the same. So for me, the knowing came first, and then I went and Googled and figured out and started like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I read it and I was like, of course, and no wonder for the last couple months, as I shared with Joy right before the live, I was already kind of drawn into play a little bit more with my voice, like never before, right? Like that voice alchemy, and being able to actually even catch, right? Like I always feel like my throat had so many openings and activations that, oh, for sure, in my throat, I'm fully open. And yet, through one of these little rituals, I was like, wow, I was getting stuck constantly right here. And and then I was like, I'm not going further, so I took a break. It's on the back burner. And then I meet Joy. Well, not meet, reunite with Joy. So yeah, for sure, it's such a beautiful place for us to dive deep. So this comment, wherever you want to go from this comment.
Oh, wow. Woo. Mm. So you rang the bell and I showed up because,
Literally.
you know, you when we close ourselves off by framing something too small, um, we're creating a static ridge in that part of the field, right? So, like, we look at singing as this thing. Suddenly, now I'm singing. But you were just singing an aria when you were speaking, your voice, your breath, your heartbeat. coming out of your mouth, hitting different pitches with different tonalities as you were expressing what you felt was truth in your heart, is singing. It's just not formalized the way we think of it. But what happens with most people is that they think of it as this other thing, just this separate thing. Like, now I'm washing dishes and I gotta get every spot off the pan, and there's soap. It's like, it's not this separate thing that's separate from our communication. It's just it's like when I said cutting through time and space, I was picturing a boat cutting through the water and leaving the wake behind it. It's like your vibration is the wake that you leave behind in the 3D based on where you're cutting through time and space in that moment. So like when you open the parameters and the definition of what singing is, for example, suddenly it's not this thing that's separate from you. It's something you've been doing since you came screaming out of your mother's womb. It's a signal to express the deepest need, the deepest truth. A baby comes out and is cold and is startled and is, traumatized by all the sensation. And that scream communicates an infinite number of fractal realities to the mother's body. By the pitches, by the tone, by the amount of air, by the amount of sound placement, like all of it is simply code of something that needs to be communicated from the deepest place of truth in that moment, right? So when it makes it maybe sound even more complicated, but it's actually less complicated than thinking of it as this thing that I'm supposed to do and people are supposed to approve and they're supposed to like it. And so this leads me to, I don't exactly know how to address that thing that I said that you just quoted, because once I created it, it's like it kind of just vanishes,
Yeah.
but what I would like to share with you is this idea about room A, room B, and room C, because it'll explain so much.
Amen.
The concept is that in any given moment, we're each sitting in a room, and that room is determining our reality. So when we're in room A, we're stuck in one set of reality. When we're in room B, we're in another state of reality. And when we're in room C, I call room C the creator space. We're in that reality. So want to start with the idea of room A, because it's where we all need to escape from. It's a prison. And what it is a perspective where there are so many different ways I can explain this. Let's use the analogy of like, okay, I'm going to step out on stage and do a performance. And there's a stage, and there's lights, and there's microphones, and there's instruments, there's an audience, there's chairs, there's notes, there's lyrics. There's a laundry list of mechanical components that create the reality of that space. And when we look at it from the lens of a processor or a manager, right, we can check off things. Okay, I got the lyrics I got to know, I got the notes I got to hit, all of these things. And we're looking at it as a problem that is needing to be solved in front of other people, right? This triggers our amygdala, the reptilian part of our brain that puts us into fight or flight, because even on a subatomic level, we don't want to be observed when we're in a flow state. Our electrons want to hide like animals playing dead. So everywhere in our body, we're programmed to survive. And so in primitive times, like our big asset is our brain. We don't have sharp claws or teeth, and we can't run, hide up a tree, so we go and hide in a cave. So we're programmed to hide our light and preserve our brains, right? Which is our big weapon, our big asset. And so when we think that we're going to be seen and exposed, on a really intimate level, it triggers that fight or flight. It triggers the amygdala to turn on, and it triggers the prefrontal cortex to subdue, and we are in this fight or flight. Our nervous system is dysregulated, and we're not able to access the magic, right? So room A, so that you've got this broad, so think of this broad concept of the room, with the stage and all of that, as a fish tank. And then inside that fish tank, the larger fish tank, I'm going to drop a little snow globe. And in that snow globe is me, and in the case of a song, one other person having a private conversation and creating this insular reality, like an actor on this on a set, right? Where you're just in this one little intimate, sealed off experience. And I am attempting to communicate something that is going to create an effect on the other person. So let's say I'm it, let's say I want to sing the song "I Want to Hold Your Hand" by the Beatles. And in my mind, I'm thinking of my husband and the first time we met in person. And I can have this conversation with him where I'm like, the essence of what I'm saying is, I need to know if you feel the same way. And by you holding my hand and agreeing to hold my hand is going to tell me everything my soul needs to hear. So if I'm communicating the lyric of that song to Matthew in hopes of like him professing his love to me, that song in that snow globe is going to have all of the truthful essence of my deepest love and the heightened emotion of that. So if I just communicate directly to him with the intention in mind of what I want to get out of it, magic happens, because I'm not forcing myself out of the flow state and into the mechanical state where we forget our words and where we, don't hit the notes, or we crack, or all of these other things happen. So room A is when you're in the larger fish tank and you're looking at yourself from imaginary points of view. You're going outside the fish, like you're going outside your own perspective. You're going into the audience and you're looking back at yourself from fear's lens. So so you're seeing a distorted, almost like, I used to also call it like hanging mirrors. It's like I'm giving every audience member a mirror from the fun house that's all distorted, and I'm watching myself through their eyes. So it's like this whole convoluted, disembodied thing that we do subconsciously when we're in this fight or flight state, when we fear we're being observed, when we're the ones observing ourselves. So room A is when you go outside yourself. You leave the spaceship. I'm switching metaphors. You go outside and you watch yourself flying the spaceship, but you're no longer at the captain's chair. You're out here. You can't control it from outside, but yet we are all epidemically in room A in every aspect of our lives. We're watching ourselves, trying to preemptively protect ourselves from what other people might think, and
Yeah.
shutting ourselves out of the flow state into this. And then we wonder, why can't I get on stage and sound like I sounded in my shower? It's because you're no longer embodied in room B, where you're just, it's like a child who hasn't figured out, babies don't go like,
Have
oh, does
shape
my
or
butt,
yeah.
yeah, does my butt look big in this diaper? Like, they're just in discovery mode. They're looking out. They're the center, like the sun, and they're just learning and experiencing. And so when you're coming from this place where like the sun, the rays are coming out, this electromagnetic field at the heart opens wider and wider and wider and wider, and you get wider and wider access to the field to flow through you when you're open and your heart is open and you're not hiding. right? But when you're in room A and you're out there, the arrows are pointing in at you.
Yeah.
This space at the heart closes so that nobody can see there's anyone here, and then we're back to being mechanical and we forget, our bodies forget, and our prefrontal cortex is shut down. We're not functioning logically. We're just reacting. We're filled with cortisol. We're filled with adrenaline and all the other things. All the water molecules are distorted and not conducting the electricity through to the, you know what I mean? Like the whole
Well,
neural system.
yeah, I will add a little bit. Yeah, my apologies if I interrupt you. Yet
No,
a few
please.
things came up, and I'm like giggling. I was like, of course, right? In one room, you're there to share. Room B, right? As a child, I'm sharing. I'm here, and I'm sharing, and I'm shining.
I'm
Correct.
just discovering in room B.
Yes.
I'm
And
discovering.
and the roommate and the roommate, you come in and you're there to perceive what they are sharing, although you're the one that's on stage. And I even know the difference between both of experiences, right?
Right.
Um, Speaking in front of audiences, I've had plenty, long time ago, I had plenty of times where you walk out and you're like, is my skirt too short? Is this, do they see this? Do they see this? Oh my God, my hair is sticking out. I can feel it. They're looking at me. Of course, you're not, you're not in the flow and you're not there
Right.
because you're being suddenly this, you know, this helicopter mommy that pointing things out where you're not good enough already,
Right.
not even focusing on what you're there to be.
Right.
Yeah, so definitely. And I gotta share one quick experience, and that probably will resonate with people. So when I was going through my transformation, well, I'm always going through it in a way. Yet, I don't know, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years ago, I'm constantly putting myself in a place of expansion and studying and just putting myself through the ring, let's say, right? Stress testing. So I went through this transformational, awesome school in Los Angeles, Leaders in Transformation. And there was a ritual that we had to do, right? A task, basically. So everybody had a song that was given to them. We didn't need to sing it. We had to dance to the song, dress as this theme, dance to that song, yet without the music. And you had to dance the whole song in front of audience. And mine was Lady in Red. And for the longest time, right, I've never felt pretty. I felt cute, right? And that these 8 years ago, maybe or something, that like literally that task broke me down. And first time I actually was able to just let everything go and collapse all the BS and actually feel feminine and pretty. Yet, what happened? I was called out on stage and I had to finish the whole, it's like a 4 minute song. No music, nothing. I'm just dancing, and there was like 300 people sitting, and I'm on stage. And I had to enroll them that they saw me letting go. And I couldn't enroll them. They sent me out the first time. I was crying behind the stage, bawling my eyes out. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go anymore because I'm walking out and I'm not, I'm dancing, but obviously my body is so rigid, right? I'm so tense inside. I'm contracted. I can't look at anything. And I broke down crying and I was like, I'm gonna just quit this transformation. I don't need this. This is too much. And then I was like, okay, Roman, just go out one more time. Just go out. You know what? At this point, fuck it. They sent you back 3 times. You didn't roll them. Just go out. And something happened. Something happened, Joy, where I couldn't even recognize myself dancing, but I could feel it, and I felt so different.
Mhm.
And then suddenly everybody in the audience could see it and feel it, and they
Mhm.
started rolling right away.
Mhm.
I was really, there was something broke out of that shell. So I can like I can feel, I have a very distinct remembrance about very different ways of being while
Mhm.
you're in front of someone. And yes, there is sometimes this invisible illusionary wall where you're like, I'm dancing, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly you just let it all go and you don't care how you look and what's happening and what your face looks like. And if sweat is falling off your, it's so different. It's so different. So I can only kind of imagine with the singing and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and
So I
that's room C when you
had,
finally broke through.
okay.
So what's happening is when you're in room A, fear is driving the behavior. So fear is telling you it's not safe to be seen, and you have to make sure that you stay safe. So you better do the best job. That's why so many artists are perfectionist. Um, you better make sure that you don't die. Basically, you're just triggering such a primal instinct of not being rejected by the tribe, and that's why the brain is doing what it's doing, and it's sending all of these stress hormones into your body because it is equatable to survival. So when you can recognize that fear is literally disembodying you and throwing you outside of yourself so that all you can focus on is, am I going to survive? Then you are just a mechanical bunch of nerves and wires and just trying not to deconstruct, right? It has nothing to do with why you're there. When you can, I picture room B is like the hallway between room A and room C,
Okay.
because room C is basically the inverse of room A. It's through love's lens. And remember, love is the expansion outwards in every direction without hesitation, because hesitation is always anchored in fear. That's what I discovered in the woods.
Yeah.
Um, that's
I
that's
love
my
I love the
yeah,
woods.
that was where I learned everything, or I realized became conscious of it. Um, so when you're in room C, you're embodied. You're like the sun. You're opening, 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 and opening, and allowing this electromagnetic window to become wider and wider. So all that wants to channel through your stained glass window of your spiritual fingerprint just has an easier and easier time just getting through and being broadcast out into the world. When you're in room C, you're able to account for the mechanics and the process. I'm able to say, like, I know I've got that note coming up,
Okay.
right? But I'm not like, oh my God, I have that note coming up, I'm gonna crack. I'm like, it's peripheral, and it's just like, I got this. I know exactly what to do. And it's just like you're able to be omnipotent over making sure you steer the ship, but you're not disembodied from the process. And nothing feels like that. Nothing feels as good. It's orgasmic, it's ecstatic, it's euphoric, because it's the God perspective. It's you're allowing yourself to bring the ethereal through your body into the material in the most creative, isn't even a big enough word, way. It's like every moment you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't need to. You're flying. You're letting God come through you. You're letting the universe come through you. You're letting, and so what winds up happening is, for singers and for any other artist for that matter, they come to me so hung up on, I have to know the mechanics, I have to know how to hit these notes, I have to train my ear, I have to practice, and I'm not ready, I won't be. And it's like, it's none of that. I mean, yes,
Enjoy
you need to.
enjoy is like slow down.
Yes.
Go into your quantum field. And they're like,
Right.
what? I love
Right.
it.
And seriously, so like I get them back into a state of focus where they go back to what's really happening with art is just communication and connection, right? We're communicating something. I want to hold your hand. We're communicating, I love you. Would it be possible? Is there any world in which you love me too? And that opens the window to unbelievable possibilities. And so it's like, the more honestly I can connect to that emotion and be focused from that place, the more my voice is going to seduce that person into saying yes. So your technique and your instrument becomes better and better and better because you're letting your emotions craft the mastery of your voice. Even when I was saying like the leaves of the different plants had different shapes, it's like form follows function. So these leaves would be exactly shaped to provide the right amount of sunlight, the right amount of water, all of
Yeah,
that, so like our voices become crafted by how deep can we let ourselves emotionally express in any given song. So like when I'm teaching singers how to get into room B, I'm teaching them how to ground themselves in what's really going on inside the song emotionally. Not what did the songwriter think when he wrote it or she wrote it, but like how does this apply to your life right now? What about this do you need to say? Who do you need to say it to? And let's set up a private energetic conversation between you and your father that you haven't spoken to in 10 years. And when you're singing that song, all you need to do is convince your father how much you love him. And then everyone in the audience in the larger fish tank becomes your father.
yeah, yeah,
Not a
yeah,
bunch of strangers looking at you, judging you. It's like whoever you choose to talk. So basically, what I'm saying is like there's a way to, by learning how to focus your attention on what you're really doing here. What's your mission? Like in a song, you have a mission. In life, you have a mission. In you go out to a Christmas party, you have a mission, which is
your
have
why. It's like your why.
right,
Why would I put myself through this? Why I put myself out there?
right. But
Um,
but specifically, like I would love to have a great time. I'd love to meet some beautiful people. I'd love to bring joy to someone. So when you walk into that party, if you had a plan to, let's say you walked in there and you said, I'm going to find 3 people that I can make feel seen and appreciated and loved tonight. And you give yourself a mission and you give yourself a target and a task, then instead of the arrows going in on you, which is how most people feel when they walk into a party, oh my God, are they going to judge me? Am I too this? Am I too that? And you get smaller and smaller, and your quantum access gets shut off. Or you go in and you have a specific focus to bring you into presence, and you set out to accomplish that task. Suddenly the arrows are pointing back out again. The field is opening up to you, and love is coming through, and you have the best night of your life, and you meet really beautiful people because you decided to point the arrows out. And
yeah,
room C is when you get really good at staying out of room A. When you feel yourself being pulled into that introverted feeling, either on stage or in life, you go, what's the antidote to that? And it's refocusing my mission, my energy. Look at that sweetheart. Oh my goodness.
this is Lily.
Lily, sweetheart.
Decided to really tune in into our transmission. I love it. She's like,
Yes.
sing,
Oh
let me
my
hear it.
goodness.
Yeah, so okay, to support others and myself as well as receiving it all. Um, Room A, fear, survival, as it's not sustainable. So sometimes you can get really good at technique. It won't be sustainable in the long run because probably fear will mess up your technique as well, and you'll be like,
Yeah.
I effed it up.
You short circuit.
Yeah. Room B, a discovery happens. I get curious. Instead, judgmental, I get curious. I get curious about the story behind I get curious about my feelings, right? I get curious about, whatever that is. So kind of
And
this,
focused. Curious
yeah,
and
yeah.
focused.
Okay, yeah. So that intention, right? That, yeah. And
That anchors you
the anchor,
and
yeah,
grounds you to being you.
yeah. Love it.
Right? You're no longer questioning, am I good enough? Am I supposed to be here? Do I know what it's just like I'm here and this is what I'm going to do. It grounds you to like
Clarity. Yeah,
what you're discovering.
yeah, clarity. So even when I work with people as well, right, on their shifting their reality and comprehending where they at in this quantum field, and and how to allow yourself to travel different spaces. Like, absolutely, first of all, getting that clarity, right? Where, because we can't, try to put on ChatGPT or on the, what do you call it, maps, right? Try to put it, I want to go to the point B. If I don't know where I'm at, where is the point A,
Right.
how I can
Yeah.
get there, correct? So that clarity always supports, and then see that beautiful, authentic expression, right? So if I am, now I'm gonna pick your brain. I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
please.
so, okay, while others didn't hear, so I'll go very short into a little bit of my story. And now, when you were speaking, actually, more stuff came up. So I didn't walk till, I didn't even start walking till 2, because through the birth, I was preemie, 7 months, very small. I was kilo and 200 grams, so 2 pounds and 400, 2.4 pounds.
Oh my
And
God.
I was 22 centimeters. It's like this. And when I, throughout the birth, my both of my hips were pulled out, basically. So 2 years I was simply in a metal frame.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't even start walking yet. I start talking very early. At 7 months, I was doing full full sentences, my mom said. And they said I never stopped, right? I love it. Uh, so, I was like, aha, because I'm just putting it all together for myself. And it
Right.
was very intriguing, because I was the one that organized all the stuff in schools and elementary and high school, right? Like, let me speak on the stage. I was the hostess of every event in school as well. And it was funny, because they wouldn't even give me mic, because my voice would travel so far. Everybody always used to tell
Wow.
me, oh, you should be a coach, like a team coach, right? And literally, all the kids would stand and speak into the mic. And then when it came my turn, they would be like, "Mm," and everybody would, I would sound the same without the mic, while everybody would sound with the mic. So that's a great part, standing on a stage. Yet, let's say at home, as besides that, everybody thought that they're like, wow, she doesn't have any hearing. My voice was shushed 24/7. I was too loud. I was too right. Like, she's like, even if, like, I'll come and just like
Yep.
like how was your day, and they're like, shh,
Wow.
wow, so loud.
Wow.
Right? So, like, it's just very interesting dynamic. I was comfortable speaking in public, but I always felt like there is something off with my voice, right? Like, it's too, like, I am, and not control, no, no, no. And it's very interesting. So let's say now I'm coming to you, and I'll be like, Joy, hi, I want to do karaoke in 3 months, right? You know what? And I want to tune into my field and see, like, where am I still stuck? As I shared with you, as I tried these few little things, just going through the and I was like, wow, I feel like it's stuck in here and here and here. Like, I don't even know. So if I would be like, here is my vision, for fun, I'm gonna actually do karaoke. Where would you, how would you start with me? Where would you right? And if anybody's listening that, like, you're not about, your dream is not to be a professional singer, yet allowing yourself, as Joy brought it to attention, it's so beautiful, like, allowing yourself to be a singer, right?
Mhm.
Around the house, for your own events, for just allowing yourself to express, if you want to. um, Take notes. Where would you start? What would be, maybe, I don't know, questions? What would be the practice? What would be how does it look like?
Okay. So I would, as special as you are, I would start you the same way I would start everyone. And how that looks is the first thing we do is we ground you in to your identity as a creator.
Okay, wow.
There's a book that I love to recommend. You may have heard of it. It's called The Alter Ego Effect by Todd
Okay.
Herman.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he just has it like locked down in terms of what he does with his clients. And I've been doing something similar my whole career, but he just has it spelled out so beautifully that I just say, just go read Todd's book because it's so good. But basically, you're what I have everyone do is create a fantastical, almost like if you had your own Marvel superhero,
Yeah.
who would it be? What would your superpowers be? What are you here for? What do you stand for? What does your cape look like? What is your color scheme? Like, create this outlandish, fantastical version of yourself, just to separate it from you and give you a buffer so you don't feel so you feel safe.
So I gotta put a little side note here.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because I've done everything in my life through that alter ego, like the success financially, the coaching, the everything. I had three companies, this is right, like all of it. Yet it's so funny. If I so that's a blind spot, right? That's the fragment. That's the trauma. Because if I would even think about singing, I would never.
Yeah.
Like I would never go into the, and it absolutely yes. Okay, wow, I love it. I
Yeah.
love. So another thing, obviously, right? See, it's like if we have that pain, if we have that trauma, it is a blind spot for us.
Yeah.
And sometimes we might already be so great at every, and you're like totally dismissing that and disconnected from that.
Yeah.
Even right now, it showed me how deep I tucked it away,
Yeah.
that I do everything else through that new ways of being a new identity,
Yeah.
yet I couldn't even recognize that. Like even last week, I went to my niece. Oh, that's so hilarious! I went to my niece seventh grade Christmas concert. Right? They do the little. It's a school. It's
Yeah.
the not mid school. And literally, I was sitting here, my mom was here, and then my sister, and they were singing, and my sister and my mom was talking. I turned around something. I was like, "Do you remember, guys? I sang as well in the chorus." And that's the first thing that came out of their mouth. You just ruined the songs. I swear it came up. So it's again, it's my mirror because I've been still, I'm taking full responsibility because I been still identifying with that little Roma that
Yeah.
has a label
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
should not out loud put even three notes together. That's who I've been identifying with. Responsibility is mine
Yeah.
up until now, no more. Okay, we're doing real work right now, right here. Go ahead.
Yes,
I
yes.
love
And
it.
so there's a whole bunch of processes that we go through to kind of step into um first an extreme version where we just fantasize and we create and it's childlike and it's whimsical. And then we start to develop it more and more woven with who is the ideal version of ourselves, especially when it comes to like harmony. Like if you could use your voice, if you could use the magnificent symphony of what you know and not have this blockage with your singing voice, imagine how much freer you'd be in all the other areas,
Yeah, yeah, I
right?
agree. Yeah.
So what happens is we start to fill in the blanks. So the more evolved and developed you are, the better, obviously, but it'll feel like a greater disparity between what is not developed yet, but that's okay because it'll fill itself in pretty organically and easily once you understand it. And so we start walking more and more in the persona of this character. It's like preparing for a movie, only you're not being someone else. You're being your deepest level of yourself and walking in those footsteps. And then I teach you how to continue to use your instrument, give you some actual technique, but just enough to get this is a whole other beautiful way to look at, everything is everything, but like sound placement and resonance is, it's like I define sound as the intersection between 2 points. It's like I drop this on my trackpad here and you hear that sound. So first is placement, then is the spread of resonance from there. So when you understand the basics of how to create optimum placement of sound in your mask, in your instrument here. Optimum placement, how to hold it steady using your air, and then and then how to allow it to have the most beautiful space inside the chamber to resonate, which is just sound waves expanding and then bouncing and harmonizing with, it's just, it's harmony, right? So once you have really started to walk in this new identity and it becomes more and more clear, and you start to understand the basics of like activating the sound optimally, then you start just singing in my container, little baby steps. And I work with you, and I have you, more than anything that we are doing vocally, I have you break down a song from the perspective of what are you saying, who are you saying it to, and why.
I love it.
And it's not what are you singing, is what are you saying. And then we take the lyric off the melody and we have you do it as a monologue. You have to do it in your own words. So every song becomes a personal expression of something that you need to say right now in present time to someone right now in your life or that you know of that needs to hear it because you want to affect change. And so you get caught up in this mission of communication, and then that drives the sound of your voice. So instead of watching yourself and saying, how does it sound, what are people going to think, because you're not in Reme anymore, you're like, what am I here to say, who do I need to say it to that's going to put me in the most potent version of myself, and how do I get them to, how do I get that across effectively. And when you're thinking about that, you don't have the bandwidth to be watching yourself. And so once you start doing that, and we start doing that together, both privately, one-on-ones, in the group container with other artists from around the world that are learning how to step out of fear and into this state of love, you start to grow your wings and you start to blow your own mind, because the voice just starts to tune itself and magic starts to happen. Your instrument becomes a reflection of who you are and what you're here to impact, and it just keeps getting better and better. And the final piece, so it's basically the 3 C's that I talk about: confidence, communication, and connection is the final piece. So
Right.
once you're in this room B, room C kind of flow state, and it's just organically starting to tune itself and you become more and more proficient, then you just put it out, and you put it out, and you put it out, and you watch people's hearts open. Like you saw when you finally let it all go and you started to dance from the center of your soul. Everyone felt it because it bypassed their heads, it
Yeah.
bypassed their eyes and their ears, and they just felt it.
Yeah.
And I'd have you singing karaoke in a week instead of 3 months. And then you'd have, which my intro program is a 3 month container. So it's like you this starts to unravel exponentially pretty quickly. All the constructs that fear put in place for you, that blocks you, that block your voice, that block your belief in your ability to be an accurate reflection with your voice, start to fall away pretty quickly. And it's
Yeah.
miraculous. It's
Yeah. And you
miraculous.
said it so beautifully as well. Like, hence, I'm such a student for life. I really don't have a choice. That's how I feel. I get obsessed with these little things where I can expand myself, right? Evolve myself. And absolutely, how can me meeting my voice deeply would not amplify every gift or every, strength that
It
I
would
already
not.
have. It would amplify either way. And yeah, the learning for me never stops. And another thing that you said so beautifully, right? Like, room C at this point is being that conduit. Right? It's allowing, and in a way it takes away pressure as well. Because
Totally.
for me, public speaking, if I was still nervous, right? I was like, I turned it. Oh, one of your shorts on Instagram as well. Free your voice with joy. That's your Instagram, right? Yeah. For
Yeah.
everyone, if you don't follow Joy yet. You shared something beautifully. Um, Being that conduit for me takes off the pressure as well, when I go public speaking, especially bigger audiences. And I actually, at this point, enjoy my nervousness slash excitement right before. Because usually it's funny, it's still the same process. And I don't know for you, singing for many years now, yeah, I would love for you to share that as well. So I still gonna go get nervous. And sometimes even like the 30 minutes right before I am on stage, it's blank, it's black, right? I'm just like, I don't know what I'm gonna say. Why am I doing it to myself? Why am I putting myself through this? I don't really need to do it. Half of them don't want to hear it anyway. Like I go into this and I at this point enjoy it because I turned it into such a beautiful pre-play that I'm only nervous because I care deeply, because it is my mission. Because it's like going on a date that I wouldn't be nervous at all, meaning I don't care, right? Versus going on a date where I'm just like, oh my God, butterflies, butterfly. Of course I want to go on a date that way, rather like, okay, we'll just go glass of wine, I don't know, whatever, right? I wouldn't even waste my time to go if
Yeah,
I'm like, eh,
right.
it's either like hell yes or hell no.
Yeah, yeah.
So the same, you said something to channel that nervousness before, right? To channel that fear before you can utilize it. Like this energy is no joke, it's strong and potent. So as strongly you can feel that block in fear, that's how strongly it can support you and uplift and amplify everything you will say. Yeah. So this I kind of like I got down for my speaking because yeah, now I'm enjoying because the more nervous I am, the more explosive I am on stage. You said you wanted to say something.
Oh yeah, I do. I want to take
Yeah.
that point up because I love that you have reframed it and you use the energy and you alchemize it into excitement. But I do have to say, there is a way to deconstruct the fear and the resistance energy before you don't have to go through. I have a client, she just finished my 12-week program and she's now in my year-long program, but she signed up with me because she had been asked to sing at a hockey game, the God Bless America,
Okay.
and was petrified, absolutely petrified. And I would say about 9 weeks in, it happened, the performance. She was so prepared and so out of room A within that time frame that she said she did not have a single bit of nerves walking
Beautiful
out
as
onto
well.
the
Yeah.
ice, and she sang for 10,000 people a cappella and knocked it out of the park. Like they were on their feet screaming. And she couldn't believe it because her whole life she's been stuck in that resistance and in that fear. And every guru, Tony Rock, like so many of the big gurus will tell you, fear is just an inevitable part, and the nervousness is just an inevitable part of performance. And I completely disagree because I've been disproving it for 33 years.
Love it. Love
Because
it.
you can take, because if you think about it, like, why am I putting myself through it? I don't need to do this. This is, like all of that is resistance,
Correct.
right? And so instead of the old school way, which is workable, but it's still force and against resistance, is okay, we're going to muscle through it until it serves us. Like that energy, like, okay, we're on a roll now, so I can kind of let go of that. But there is a way when you understand and you've practiced and you've rerouted your neural pathways with new default mechanisms so that you're not playing that old game, that you can not have to feel any of that negative
As well.
resistance, and you can just get like you get adrenaline and you get excited, but it's like I don't know what I'm going to say. It's all blank, but I am so excited to
I did.
unleash myself because I know something great is about to happen. And there's none of that dread, and there's none of that palm sweating and cheek twitching and heart pounding in a negative way. And most people think that that's impossible, but That's literally the new age of performance, in my opinion, is learning how to, and not just performing art, but like performing in life. What do you think performance anxiety is in the bedroom? It's just room A. What do you think
Well,
performance
I love it
anxiety?
that you said that. Anywhere. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just us. We disembody, and we deconstruct. Like we're basically disabling the mechanism that allows us to flow into what normally would happen beautifully, because suddenly we're out here and we're watching ourselves and we're creating that observer effect, which shuts down the wave flow and puts us into just tripping over our tongues and not being able to perform whatever it is. We go to a party, we have to have a drink, or we have to smoke a joint, or we have to take something in order to just not be in room A, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And so, like, literally all we're doing all the time, unless we're very insulated in a very familiar environment, is we are um, throwing ourselves into room A and have no idea how to get out. And I
yeah.
could change the world if I could teach everybody about rooms A, B, and C, and how to get out of it.
I love it. And you're correct. Because a lot of people, let's say if I will be in a gathering, right, or more than 5 or 10, if anybody gets to say anything, like I'm always pushed forward because everybody will know that I'm just gonna pick up my, I'm just gonna share whatever comes. Like I have zeros, like, huh, about this person, who is he? It's okay, I got it. Don't worry about it. Like, I'll say something. And even now, this summer, we had a first like a family reunion. There were over 80 people, right? That's my mom's 7 brothers and sisters.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it was funny, like I ended up speaking through microphone for all the evening because even if somebody else wanted to say something, they wouldn't dare to get on the and they were and it's like family and it's weird, right? So again, what I'm hearing from you, like your support, like, it's not, yes, you're supporting through the voice, through the singing, yet that's not where it's finishes, right? It bleeds into every area of your life. Like everything is connected.
Yeah.
Hence, again, you are awakening, to your body and starting taking care of yourself and caring for it. Will start rippling into your relationships, into your finances,
Yep.
right? You literally allowing your voice to fully open up. It will do same thing. Like it's absolutely amazing how working with any part of yourself, and especially, we know that there is a saying, right? We are only as strong as our weakest link.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and again, weak. Uh, it's not judgment, meaning where
Resistance.
my fragment is, where
Yeah.
my dissonance is, where my trauma is. And as I've been called forward to kind of dive deeper, as I share with you, it's a couple months already. I was like, voice alchemy. What else there's with my voice? What about my singing?
I
Hence
have,
Joy, as Joy said, you rang, I answered. And then suddenly, I see Joy and we start to communicating. I was like, oh my God, I want to have her. I want to talk to her. So absolutely, like it's so mind-blowing
yeah.
that again, no matter where you at and what levels you are, that deeper harmony, that deeper alignment, that deeper coherence is always possible because we're always evolving, you know? And yeah, if I'm zooming out with what I've been learning about my own voice, about my own traumas, is what I'm doing through quantum living lifestyle, what I got now to hear, with your shares, and what have so many evidences that it works. The voice as a tool, as an instrument, and our own voice. We already know, even scientifically, like how it affects my own body. My own voice affects my own body the most immensely. I don't know if that's the word.
No,
And
you're right. All the water
yeah,
molecules in your fascia, in your everything, it
yeah,
lights up all the electromagnetic connections in
Terrain,
everything.
yeah, the terrains and the funny thing is, as I always share, right? Like a lot of us, even through the awakening stages, will still feel like, there is a psychic attack from here, or there's, oh, these people are affecting me very much. This, yes, your environment matters, and we have the responsibility on us, who comes into my field and who doesn't. Okay,
Yeah,
okay, that's my responsibility. At the end of the end, my energy, it's only my energy that has authority over me. Really, it's my energy is the strongest for me. Nobody can do anything to me, or harm me in any way if I don't allow and if I disagree. So now, as I'm taking it a notch, uh, through the voice lens, of course my own voice has the biggest authority on every cell of mine,
yeah,
of my field. And I was mind blown how, you can go and tune your biofield with tuning forks, and there are a lot of people that already work on this
one of my
out.
clients does that.
Okay, so yeah, please, we'll connect everyone with each other, yeah. So, I was going that rabbit hole a while ago, yet it's kind of similar, but now a little bit different than you were. I was like, wait, well, the voice is tuning fork. Yeah. Even through these few little practices or rituals or whatever, that I was like, I could hear where my voice cracked. I could hear, like, suddenly, it's funny thing, like suddenly I'm out of breath, but I know I'm not out of breath.
Yeah.
Correct? And it was this, and I can compare it to water. I was always very athletic and well conditioned. Yet years ago, right, I started taking swimming lessons, and I don't know why. I was like, wow, I can't swim. I can't swim. What's happening? I'm like out of breath. And I know that physically I'm much better conditioned, that it was just an anxiety with water. The moment I became with water one, I could swim laps and laps.
Yep.
So it's similar, right?
But
This
see,
effect.
I would interpret that as you don't realize that you're going into room A in these areas. That's what's happening is you suddenly you're looking at it as water, and suddenly you're doing
Correct.
some like you're watching from the outs from the processor perspective, and you distance yourself, you separate yourself as opposed to
Correct.
being all of
Yeah.
it,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. So again, maybe when you step into and it's okay when you step into the new separation. Yeah, you're correct. Separation will always distort something.
Correct.
Correct. So
You're
I grew up with
separating yourself from your voice all these
what?
years
From the voice, from the
musically.
water. Yeah, from
And
singing.
music is you are music. Like so by you closing the music door because of believing the trauma and all of those messages you got means you're closing yourself off to the strongest, most obvious part of you as a spiritual being, which is the music, the vibration, the harmony, right? And would, I mean, I'm just gonna throw this out there because it came through. Um, I would love to work with you and get you back into your voice, and maybe we could do karaoke challenge,
Karaoke.
and we could document your progress with
You
your
could.
following on YouTube and on your platform so that
Oh my God. I
you
love it.
know, wouldn't that be
Yeah,
extraordinary?
it's a great idea. Wow, you're really putting me through the ringer. Look at my face got flushed.
Right.
I love
I
it.
see that. And I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
that's just an indication, like you see memes all the time that say the very thing that you want to resist the most is the very thing that's going to set you the most free,
Absolutely.
you know?
That's why, my apologies if I interrupt you, but
No.
that's why I'm like, mm, I don't have to go there, yet I get to. Again, not because I really, want or need to sing, yet there is something for sure that I will be like, wow, I just found my golden egg. What do you
Yeah.
call it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the feeling.
Yeah, you've shut the door on the deepest, most intrinsic part of our physical existence, which is the vibration that's always happening in the energy field has just it has harmony in it. You see it in cymatics. You see it when you put salt on a speaker and you play bass through it. You see it in water crystals when you speak loving words over
Yeah.
the water. It's like our organic life wants to create beauty, harmony, symmetry, and if you're closing the door to your own ability to access musical harmony, then you're shutting yourself from the, my opinion, the deepest part of our essence, our vibrational essence, because everything is harmony.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very intriguing. You know, a while ago, I did think you're gonna laugh so much that I can't even do the om.
I understand though.
No,
I
really.
I
I
do.
finished even like yoga certifications, Ayurvedic and I loved it. I love it. You know, and yet even like in the meditation group, I'll be like, wow, mine is shortest. Wow, I'm out of breath. Wow,
Yeah.
what the
Wow.
heck?
I'm in room A. That's all it
Yeah,
is.
I was like, what's happening? I can't even do that. What is this? And again, it's fun right now because you know, for the last few years now, like I don't go into panic or fear. I still just witness myself from that old lens. But
Yeah.
it's not like, you know, suddenly I'm not enough or I'm like ashamed or anything like that. Yet I can see because again, right, the stories, the mental stories, the emotional story, and how I was the events that I had is shape-shifting me, shape-shifting my physical body, shape-shifting my voice, shape-shifting everything, right? So yeah, I know there is some more shape-shifting to play with the voice for sure.
Yep.
Wow, and I invite everyone. In fact, because I've been humming and I've been oming now for, you know, and I even enjoy, like, I will enjoy little, like, just the stuff like this.
Yeah.
And before I never did. Before I, even that, I would be like, "Ugh, it's probably annoying."
I get you. And you know what? We have to set ourselves I mean, you're laughing. I have a hard time laughing about it because it's so rampant and it's destroyed so many people's lives
For
because
sure.
it
Yeah.
stops us. Even if it doesn't make you feel shame, you don't you're not moving forward in that direction anymore. You stop and turn around and go in another direction, and that's what so many of us do and on so many levels, like it's mind-boggling. And oh my gosh, I could talk to you forever. I have another appointment coming up.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, well, um, I will add this that you and I will talk. Yet I'm very open and intrigued to work with you to do the challenge.
Oh my
And
gosh, that would be so
from the
epic.
perspective of I am conduit either way, you know? And hey, whatever this journey is, it will bring value to me, you, to everyone else as well.
Everyone who witnesses you just deciding to, I mean, my workshops, I do a monthly workshop and they're called the Fuck It Factor because it's
Yeah.
like learning how to just say, fuck it. I am alive on this planet and I'm not letting any resistance stop me anymore. I'm not letting fear get in my way. I'm leaning into all of it because I'm here and I can and it's time. So like just other people witnessing you being in that state where you're just like, what do I have to lose at this point?
Yeah,
Your
absolutely.
ego is it.
Yeah, not much left there, so no worries.
Exactly. But I
No
mean
worries.
that's what's holding on for dear life when it comes to, especially with singers. It's just like it's so scary to expose what we don't think is a true reflection of us in such an intimate way. But that's also the last gasping breath of the ego, too,
Right.
because once you let yourself be seen in the evolution, let yourself be seen as you grow into allowing that to exist in an organic way, it's like everyone's fascinated because it's all of us that do that to ourselves.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. What a profound conversation, Joy. What a profound soul sister. We reunited, and wow, I'm honored. I'm honored to be in your presence. There is one more comment really quick. So thank you both so much for the tremendous insight you're sharing here. Looking forward to the replay as well. Or somebody else just, well, yeah, just left and watched it. So
Beautiful.
thank you, thank you. And my biggest invitation is, um, well, let's start singing.
Yes.
Who been singing, please continue singing. Call us forward to sing. Speak your voice, sing your voice, hum your voice, your voice, right? Blah,
Yes.
blah, your voice. Do whatever you feel like in the now, as long as we moving forward, as beautiful Joy said, you know, we're leaving the ripple behind. I love it.
Yes.
Yes, so in a description is one happened today. Yet I'll put Joy's little bio. I'll put all her links as well.
Thank you.
And please join us for her activations and her monthly little meetings.
Oh yeah,
Uh, Pocket
there's one
Factor.
coming up on the 15th of January. So they just have to visit my Instagram, and it's a free event. But I take people through my transformation exercise. As much as we have time for, I'll take people individually through the before and after um, vocal makeover. I have artist consultations in my bio if anyone wants to talk to me and share what's going on and would like some help and inspiration in this area. Always looking to expand my community of artists, which I call the Artist Uprising. And it's just an invitation to be part of this worldwide community that is learning how to step out of fear and into love and share it through our hearts, through our voices, through music, through love.
So beautiful. So I'm declaring that I'm gonna already join the 15th January meeting. So come and
Yeah.
join me and Joy.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna definitely peek in because hey, I don't love just to learn. I love to embody. So meaning put myself through the experiences, and then I can tell you like, "Ugh, didn't work for me yet. Let's see."
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm so excited.
love it.
This
Absolutely.
was such a gift. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who's seeing this now, seeing this when we repost it. You are a gift to this world, Roma. I love you like I've known you for many lifetimes, and I can't thank you enough for the gorgeous loving truth that you are sharing with the world. We need to be reminded of all the things that you teach us. And I'm so, so happy that we got to spend this time together and share this alchemy together today. Thank you.
My pleasure, my honor, and I'm excited for us. I'm excited for our voices, for our hearts, and all of us being in this together. Amen.
Amen. Amen,
We'll
sister.
see everyone. I will see everyone next Monday. Joy and I will see a lot of you January 15th.
Yes.
We'll talk soon.
Thank you.
My beautiful beings.